I'll be the boyfriend in your wet dreams tonight. Roses on the rail, little virgin, where's the way? You cut your hair, but you used to live a blinded life. Wish I was there, wish we'd grown up on the same advice. And our time was right. Keep a place for me, for me. I'll sleep between you, it's nothing, yeah. It's nothing, it's nothing. Keep a place for me, for me. Now and then you miss it, stars make you cry. Some nights you dance with tears in your eyes.
Hello friends, it's James Kalm, your half-assed reporter, and it is Halloween night 2021 on the Bowery. Special shout out to our cool friends in Colorado, the great state of Illinois, and the boogie down Bronx. We want to pop into the hole, check out an exhibition. Stay tuned. Yes, well, we're gonna take a strolling view of James Ulmer painting pictures. Let's do a sweep of the installation.
I'll sleep between you, it's nothing. Gotta leave, take down some summertime. Give us just a night. I know we got someone coming, spitting game. No, we got gotta leave, take down some summertime. Give us just a night.
Well, I saw the show and I was thinking that James is doing work that kind of resonates with a whole group of people that are painting, and a lot of them are showing here at the Hole, and some people that are showing over at the Half Gallery are doing this kind of work. This piece is titled Last Christmas, and boy, they're making it hard. So yeah, there is the title, Last Christmas 2021, flash on canvas 84 by 70. I wish I just had a piece of paper with the titles on here. Well, so I was talking about this work, Something Nice 2021, flash on canvas 60 by 50. So they're also talking about James using flasha, which is a very flat type of acrylic. This is Many Faces 2021, flash on canvas 35 by 28. Streaming 2021, flash on canvas 36 by 30. Perfect Timing 2021, flash on canvas 36 by 30. Well, I was saying that I like this work. It's very bold, it's very fun, in certain ways it's very abstract. This is Pursuit of Happiness, 60 by 48. I like the shadow down here. And see, when you get up, you can see that it is hand painted. It actually has a very flat graphic quality when you're standing back. One of the things I like is that people were talking about color, contemporary color, and I think that this is someone that's using, I guess, what people have called Lego color. It's a big painting. Dancing Under the Sun. This is 90 by 76. Also like what James is doing with the patterning, and so one of his themes is this kind of repeated shape that he kind of layers on top, and that gives him a great opportunity to play with color contrast patterns, those things. So I have to say that the flat colors do really make that the intensity, the pigment pop, and especially when you get up and have these edges. Okay, so this is another one of his themes. He's got another version of it over there. Titled Step by Step. 60 by 48, so that's 5 by 4 feet. And although these are kind of simple compositions, there are little elements that kind of skew them a little bit. We got a little dog face sticking out there. Oh, this is nice. So we've got a selection of drawings, works on paper in the back office. And I would estimate that this is probably something like 10 by 12. Something like that. Looks like brush drawings with India ink, maybe Sumi ink. Again, James has got a pretty good sense of composition. This is ready for the moon trip. 74 by 62. Well, there is a lot of kind of interesting abstract things that are happening. I like this grass pans. Got our layered characters. I'm telling you, I'm really I'm attracted to this blue violet that James is using. That's great. So I was thinking there are some classic references. We've got the moon and then this kind of wavy reflection. Echoes Edvard Munch, one of our favorite painters. This is Somewhere Else 2021. Flash on canvas 24 by 20. I like this, just a simple landscape. Skywall 2021, flash on canvas 90 by 75 inches. Well, I was talking about his use of pattern and how he uses that to kind of build his areas of beautiful, strong, contrasting colors. It's also interesting to, okay, but all of the faces are kind of shades of brown and earth tones. It's kind of interesting to see also how the, basically the flat backgrounds really make the repeated patterns and the colors pop. And I was talking about his little doodads in there that kind of skew the composition a little bit. This is Midnight Blue 2021, 78 by 65. Well, I was talking about how some of this is referencing other paintings. So the Edvard Munch with the wavy reflection of the moon. Also, I like this big section of black. So if we were to look at those faces, can you tell are those boys or girls or something else? I don't know. That's punchy right here, the white bird with the primary colored tail feathers. Time and Place 2021. It's 84 by 62. Well, this is interesting because this has probably got the largest images of the faces in relationship to the rest of the composition. I don't know, I was talking to someone about the Holes program, their group of artists that they work with, and I was talking about how there's a lot of kind of work that references children's work, a lot of I don't know whether you could actually call it kid art or just referencing it, and someone said that they thought that this whole idea was an attempt at infanticizing, not infanticizing, which was to keep the viewers, the collectors, the people that are into this kind of culture as children, and I don't know. Maybe that would keep them suppressed somehow. This maybe is my favorite piece in the show. Judge Mentor, 2021, flash on canvas, 75 by 60 inches. Okay, so he's not stacking his forms up and repeating kind of layers in this one. And this red form must be the devil. strangely, I was looking at this, and I think there were some paintings by a great artist, Bob Thompson, who actually lived on the Bowery, maybe 2 blocks away from here for many years. He did a whole series of kind of brushy, expressionistic, figurative paintings that had red devils in them, like this. And yeah, great painter. So I was thinking that this almost looks so smooth that it would be painted with a roller, but you can actually get up and see that this has all been brushed in. James Kalm, coming to you for a trick-or-treat stroll through of James Ulmer paintings, painting pictures at the Hole. Okay, viewers, we're down here on Forsyth Street now, and I'm gonna run in and see an Amanda Church show Passengers at high noon. Hello. Start out looking at this piece. Okay, this is titled Swingers, oil on canvas, 32 by 45. Well, I've been watching Amanda's work now for probably, gosh, I don't know, 10 or 12, maybe 15 years. And, well, I like what she's doing. I think there are a lot of kind of notes that she's hitting with the work that I think are interesting. One of the things that I noticed when I first started looking at her work is that it kind of reminded me of a fantastic Italian kind of pop art or post-pop art artist, Valerio Adami, who I always thought was maybe one of the greatest of the Italian artists that came along before the trance avant-garde. It's not a perfect day, 2021. It's 32 by 45. And I think there's also kind of a reference back to some what I say, more austere American pop artists like John Wesley, maybe. But I think Amanda has kind of gone out and staked out her own personal territory. I joke with her. I occasionally see her at the events at the studio school, which I think is where she studied, or at least did some of her studies. And for some reason, she always ends up winning these prizes. They'll have an alumni show, and she'll get something like the popular pick or something like that. So I always joke with her that she's a prize-winning painter. She hasn't bought me a beer with the winnings or anything yet, but we're all hoping. So you could say I'm a member of the Church of Amanda Church, kind of. So this is titled Inner Light. So I bump into Amanda occasionally. I think I saw her up at the Peter Atchison show with Chris Martin and some other people a couple of months ago. And I think in many ways, Amanda is a formalist, but not a formalist in the kind of the purism or the Russian constructivist side of things. She's got a more of a sensual part to this, and that's one of the things that I find attractive, is that we spend a little time looking at these and thinking about the relationship of the forms to maybe parts of the human body, and some of these very abstract elements. You can start to see maybe a little narrative appearing in some of these pieces. This is Blue Generation 2021, 32 by 45. And, okay, I don't want to crimp your visual storytelling that you see when you look at paintings, but you can see that there's kind of a sensual parts to this. And I think one of the other things that I like, and I think this maybe relates to some of the things that Adami was doing, is that Amanda does some great things with the lines. And when I'm talking about lines, I'm talking about, as my old art teacher taught me, thick against thin, curved against straight, hard against soft, and the shapes in between. Also, I think that Amanda is a pretty interesting colorist, and most of these pieces are reduced to maybe 3 or 4 colors, tones. This is Situation 2021, 32 by 45. And, okay, if you look closely, she's got some very finely shaded and tinted versions of the white and off-white. And if you didn't take some time, you probably wouldn't see a lot of that. So I've been talking to Amanda, and I keep encouraging her to try to make bigger paintings because I like them. For a long time I would see her work, and it might be, I don't know, maybe 24 by 30, 28 by 32 something, and I always told her, gosh, I want to see these paintings at 6 by 8 feet, 5 by 6 feet, something like that. And although she hasn't expanded them to that range, I think that this size is kind of a move up in her scale, and I like it. Let's look at the pieces in the back room. Okay, so this is high beams. Don't tell me, 32 by 45, is that what this is? Okay, this is kind of sexy. So I was looking at this and thinking that although she's got some nice hard edges, this does not look like it was done with masking tape, or a lot of it wasn't done with masking tape. This is Amanda down there on the edges with her brushes, cutting those forms. So this has been a glance at Amanda Church Passengers here at high noon on Forsyth Street. Okay, we're gonna roll on. And we are on Franklin Place, one of the few real alleys here in New York. We're gonna run in here to the NICELLE Beauchene gallery. We're gonna look at a show by Andrew Masullo. And I don't know whether he's titled the show or not. We'll come through here and do our sweep. Well, this is unusual because normally I would come to an opening down here on a Thursday night, and there would be people lined up around the block. But I guess this is the new normal. This is the COVID openings. Start our little stroll here. Okay, none of these are titled, they just have numbers. So this is 6417, 2015, oil on canvas, 20 by 24. Well, I've been looking at Andrew's work for, 35 years, something like that. I remember seeing some of his early work at the upstairs gallery at Andre Emmerich, I believe, on 57th Street. Oh, back in the early 80s. And something stuck with me about it. So this is 5816. This is 2013 to 2014. Okay, I'm looking at the guide here, and I'm getting a little idea that what we're looking at is some of the greatest hits from the last 20 years, maybe? 6035, 2014, 2015, 20 by 24 inches. Yes, so I've been looking at Andrew's work for a while, and actually covered a couple of his shows. You can go back. I think one of the great little vignettes was when I think he was showing with Feature someone, and Jerry Saltz came by and told him he was in love with him, basically, and that was pretty funny. Maybe I'll link them up below. One of the things I always liked about Andrew is that he's got a kind of a repertoire of colors and shapes. In a certain way, it's kind of like Thomas Nuskowski, except that Andrew is always kind of more happy. I don't know, the pinks, the yellows, the happy whites, the mad magentas. 5819, 2013. This is 20 by 24. And well, I am a Facebook friend of Andrew's, so I see some of the stuff that he posts, and I'm actually fascinated because Andrew is also a pretty serious collector, and okay, I'm kind of jealous about some of the pieces. He's got some Forrest Best paintings that they're museum grade, and I guess that he actually lent them to a Forrest Best show that was maybe in Germany recently. This is 5551, 2012, 2013. I was talking about the way that I kind of perceive Andrew as kind of happy paintings. Some of this recalls some of the flower power designs of the psychedelic period. This is 5971, 2014, 2015. And I believe that Andrew lives in San Francisco. The show, the opening runs from 6 to 8, and it's probably about 7 o'clock now, and gosh, we finally got some people showing up. Hi, Carol. Good. So this makes me think of an Al Held painting from the early 60s when he was doing his alphabet series. Kind of a little oddball painting. 6028. It's 12 by 12. Well, I like Andrew's formalism. I like the flat colors. And there is a thing that's always kind of odd. I was talking to an art critic, I think her name was Carol Kane, when Andrew had a show and was also included in the Whitney Biennial. And she said, "What is it about his work that attracts you?" And I said, "In a certain way, it's like a koan." I think that's a Buddhist poem. So it's like the one hand clapping. And it always struck me that Andrew sort of will present these images, these compositions, but there'll always be something slightly out of whack. 5769, this beautiful little piece. And yeah, the way that dark blue in the black plays off against each other is beautiful. $60.40. This is 2014, 2015. Well, I was talking about how Andrew is a collector and has some Forrest Best pieces, and I think that he also probably is someone that admires an artist like Myron Stout. Kind of these black curving forms make me think of Stout. Also, that's pretty nice, just the black, red, and white. $63.92, 2015, 2016. Well, I asked Andrew why he always kind of worked in a small scale, a reduced scale, an intimate scale, and he kind of jokingly said that I always like being able to walk up to a gallery and have the show in a couple of shopping bags. This is 5814. Now, okay, this is actually maybe a little larger than he normally works. This is 24 by 20. But you could probably put most of this show in maybe not a shopping bag, but one of those big IKEA bags. Again, the black, reds, and whites. It's $57.85, 2013, 16 by 20. Well, I'm looking at this, and in one way I'm sort of thinking about Ellsworth Kelly and his ginkgo leaf paintings and drawings. On the other side, I'm sort of looking at this and getting kind of an erotic sense somehow. Okay, well now we get some of the more festive color pieces. This is 7205, 2021, so this is fairly recent. And also, you can see that Andrew has started to, at least in this piece, employ a little more texture, a little more facture in there. The paintings are a little chunkier. I was talking about some of his interesting little plays, like the transition between that block of cadmium red light and maybe that larger block of cadmium red medium. Very beautiful but subtle shade difference. $70.70. It's 2017. I think I read something where Andrew said that he sometimes uses the canvases as pallets and mixes up his paint on them, and then after they get a nice textural buildup, he'll paint on top of that. It's 12 by 16. $72.05. Gosh, I wonder if those are sequentially numbered, which means, okay, so this is 2021. He's got 7,205 paintings? I don't know. Maybe. This is oil on canvas, and well, I'm looking at that block and wondering if he's using some fluorescent. Okay, so that's kind of the color block series. This is like a very classic Masullo, 5511, 2012 to 2014, 12 by 16. I think Andrew was one of the first people that I knew that was using a lot of magenta. And I don't know, sometimes I have these conversations online with young painters talking about color and what the trendy colors are. And you know, if you're not using the trendy colors, you're old school, you're old fashioned. And, well, my response to that is always, if you're using colors that are trendy, sooner or later, usually sooner, they're going to be untrendy. And then people are going to be looking at your paintings and thinking, gosh, those are so 2021. It's such old hat stuff now. Whereas I think if you're someone like Andrew, you just have your scabbard of colors, your stash, your repertoire that you use, and kind of just make your compositions fit that, but you always leave room for some kind of goofball chance. This is 5561, 28 by 22. '19, 2006 to 2011. Well, I was planning on trying to get over and get a view of the Stanley Whitney show, and I got an email from someone that said they went there and she said it was extremely quiet, you know, for an opening. And well, as I said, normally there would be 30 people, 40 people, everybody drinking beer and wine and yakking and standing in front of the paintings. So we don't have that. So in that way, I would say that things are not exactly back to normal. This is 5790, 2013. This is 10 by 8 inches. Okay, so I am looking closely at this, and okay, so I just think that's a pretty straightforward, simple composition. But I think you can see that there's some pedimenti in here, so under that turquoise blue is maybe more of a cobalt blue. And there's probably a lot of very fine color shifts that Andrew builds up with his thin, glossy layers of paint. I guess I should also mention that Andrew has been represented in LA by Daniel Weinberg, and I had a show with Daniel a couple of years ago, and so in a certain way we were, at least I'd like to think so, that we were gallery mates. 5164, this is 2009 to 2013. As I was saying, it's like, so these look very simple, very straight ahead. With this piece he worked on for 4 years, and I was talking about his little strange little quirks, that stroke of red coming down in that little node is actually the same color as the background. So you have this, what looks like a collage shape, cut out of red, and then the stripes in the back, but it doesn't really read that way exactly once you get up and start looking closely. Okay. This is 5778, 2013. This is 20 by 24 inches. Well, I've been doing some studying. I'm reading a book, I guess for the second or third time, by a philosopher, historian, Arnold Hauser, and it's on the philosophy of art history. So I've been thinking a lot about styles, and at the same time I've been looking through a book that was very important to me when I was just beginning. I think it was New Art from Around the World. It was published in 1968 or 69. And so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking about Ellsworth Kelly and some other abstract painters. There's some British abstractionists. And I think that it's interesting to think about how someone like Andrew, who is very aware of all this various codes of abstraction and the...
You're doing that YouTube recording thing?
Yes. And, gosh, they made me lose my train of thought. Well, he has a great insight into how all the various codes, the various structures of abstraction operate like language, syntax, and how this all relates to history and some other various things. So I enjoy seeing the works. This has been James Kalm reporting on Andrew Masullo at the NICELLE Beauchene Gallery, 7 Franklin Place here in Tribeca. You can like this, share. Link it up to all your social media sites. You can subscribe and you can leave your thoughts, ideas, comments, criticisms, and suggestions below. As always, we just ask you to say, thank you, Kate.
Someone coming, spitting game. No, you got it. No, 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 no.
Whoa, thank you.
Thank you. That was Self-Control by Mr. Frank Ocean. Excellent track, excellent track.
JP
Thanks everyone for
Coogan.
listening.